If you buy 2 dispensers, you get a display unit, pen, Ebony branded chocolate, and t-shirt. If you buy 4 dispensers and above, you get a display unit, 2 pens, 2 Ebony branded chocolate, and 2 t-shirts. So what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about Ebony condoms. And I tell you where you can find them across the country. In our Greater Accra region, pharmacies like Osso's Chemist, East Cantonment Pharmacy, Nisi Pharmacy, Ad Pharma, Bedita Pharma, Tobinco Pharmacy, Pharma's Pharmacy, Pharma Trust, Blue Men Pharmacy, and Ikus Pharma. You're sorted. In the Ashanti region, Dani Pharma, Pearline Pharmacy, Osso's Chemist, sorted. Hafo Bono East and Bono regions, Medcourt Pharmacy in the Central, Western North region, Nisi Pharmacy, Capital Med Pharmacy, Cape Coast Pharmacy, and Busi Pharmacy in the Eastern region, Tony K Pharmacy, Gapson Pharmacy in the Northern region, Tokulolu Pharmacy in the Northeast region, ProCare Pharmacy, Savannah region, Mundra Pharmacy, Upper East region, Enswell Pharmacy. In the Upper West region is the Wonwana Pharmacy, and in the Volta region is the Verdi Pharmacy. 2 magic numbers to call to make it happen for you. Call 059-397-2410. That's 059-397-2410 and 055-23-00075. That's 055-23-00075. Ebony condoms. Stay safe. Let's talk football now. Kelvin Owusu Ansah has joined us in the studio. William Apia Mpofo and Helen Asiedu. So when you know of the mountains, Ofie etren, Ofie etren. Oye.
Ma pede medi no money
Mekwang. Charlie, nothing beats palm soup from the mountains. So nothing. There's no contest. No contest. In Mekwang from no. They go finish you. The palm soup from that side against the other palm.
Yeah, that one is true.
The colored palm and the colorless palm.
I like how Kelvin came alive when you talking about the other palm. You are more familiar with the palm one.
We're talking about palm Sunday.
Palm what?
Palm Sunday.
Pumpkin and
palm oil.
But you are. Let me cut to the chase. You are very familiar with the palm wine.
No, palm oil.
Why did I tell you I'm a palm wine?
You are.
Akokuno for you know Akokuno.
You know Kenya.
You know Akokuno.
Kenya, they do it.
You don't know Akokuno.
They do it more.
What's Akokuno?
You don't know Akokuno.
Akokuno.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Akokuno.
Yeah.
What is that?
Akokuno, say it after me.
Akokuno.
Again.
Akokuno.
Again.
Akokuno.
when you tap the palm wine,
they need to show the thing to the fire small.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
when you tap the palm wine, the fronds and the how do you call it? The whole palm tree, you leave it on the ground. Some worms come in. And these are very big worms, very juicy.
Okay.
They're edible.
I've always wanted to try that. So
Also, you know.
I've seen them. I don't know that that's the name, and I think they can grill them.
Yeah.
With
We
spices.
grill them. We grill them.
Yeah.
What's that? What do you eat it with?
It's
Anything.
Akokuno.
Maybe with kenke even.
Anything that you eat.
Ooh, how do we get our hands on this?
It's called
Go to the
akokuno.
countryside.
Countryside.
Akokuno. Ghana month here on the 3FM Sunrise. If you didn't know, now you know Akokuno. Don't post no
But we don't eat pussy.
Yes.
Then you come, you see the rat with the biggest mustache. But you won't touch it.
Pussy.
You can go to the biggest as woman, but if you are cranky, you push your head out.
You lose God small. They will tear you.
Or you are a snail.
And you walk slowly. We will capture you and put you inside the pot. Before you know, if you lose Gakra, we'll do Nyoma with you. Yes, we'll finish you. You know Nyoma.
Which one is Nyoma?
Poto.
Poto.
You know poto.
Yes, it's like a yam porridge or yam pottage.
Yeah.
Nyoma.
And cocoyam too is used.
Okay, so you can.
The cocoyam is better.
It's better than the yam.
Oh, forget yam. What is yam?
Oh, the Cocoyam is better.
You put a little salted fish. You call it momoni.
Yeah.
Momoni.
Say it after me.
Momoni.
Is
That one
it?
you know.
Momoni.
That one there you know.
That one there I know.
You know momoni. Yeah.
I know momoni. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Along with the akransi. The lean meat. The leaner the better. It's
You know
good
how
for
to
you.
prepare the
See the
normal.
correlation.
In your mouth.
Money and
So you chop the cocoyam
Yeah.
into pieces.
Pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you follow the process of doing your regular light soup.
Light
Right.
soup. Okay.
So then you put in the coconut.
Cocoyam.
Cocoyam.
So when it's cooked, then you take the cocoyam out.
Ah.
Then you grind it, not
Yes.
smoothly.
Yeah.
Okay. Have
You leave
some
some
pieces
poppy
in there.
Yeah, you
inside.
know
Say
the
poppy,
Kobe lumps.
The lumps.
Kobe, say Kobe.
Bobby.
Yeah, Kobe, yeah.
So then when you have that pudding, if you like,
Yes.
then you pour a little of the soup inside to make it lighter. Then you cut your onions into
Yes.
palm oil, and then you pour a little onto it, and then you stir. And then,
Oh, my mouth
but
is
your money must be
watering.
top money.
Okay.
Not the.
Cannot use just any more money for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It must be high
That
grade.
you're weird, yeah.
High grade.
High grade momoni.
FDA approved
Yes.
momoni.
Gentlemen, I think we need to go and find somewhere to eat
Yes.
after the morning.
Yes, yes. So maybe we'll go to the Ebri area.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah.
If you get angry too, you can find some Kobe. Yeah, Kobe. And
Okay.
you show the Kobe to the fire.
Uh-huh.
You are not grilling. You show it to the fire.
Just show it.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, the fire has to have an engagement with the Kobe. Yeah.
For
it's
how long?
No, it depends. You will know. Because the Kobe has a certain aroma that will come out.
Okay, it'll let you know.
Once it starts
Yeah.
coming, you know that we are ready for business.
I love that.
Then you can have fresh contumely. You know, you boil it, you put it in the earthenware pot.
Yeah.
You know, you grind it.
Exactly.
You know, with the palm oil. You put the Kobe on the side. You have your boiled yam or boiled cassava. You know, and you're ready.
Or
And some people
plantain, apim.
add the boiled egg too.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Nicely.
but
But
You
apim,
can-
when
you
it's
can do
cooked,
that.
you leave it in
Yeah.
Cold water,
for
of course.
harden a bit.
It will be hard. You understand?
Yeah, it gives it a certain.
Sun song.
Exactly.
Sun song.
Song.
You understand? Yeah. We are sorry if we whet your appetite this morning. We ourselves, we are hungry. We are hungry here in the studio. We are cooking with our mouth. I can't see a baby. That's what you get for Ghana Month here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. At that time, Giovanni and I went to have this apim business. I didn't enjoy him at all because he was rushing the food. You don't eat with people who... It's okay. Let's talk football. Chris Hughton, a new coach. He's
I'm
in.
sure he's had his first food in Kumasi.
Oh, I'm sure he's had it. You know, he was in Kumasi on Sunday, so I'm sure maybe after that question there he was
he's been
serving.
baptized.
Yeah, they were serving.
Chris Hughton is of Ghanaian descent,
Yeah.
isn't he? It's one of the parents, the mother also.
I think yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he well knows his culture. You know, he's been here a couple of times, even before he was appointed
I see.
as the coach. That he's normally been coming here, but on the quiet side, just like Memphis Depay used to come here, but until he was a big star in European football, many did not pay attention to him. Many Ghanaians do come around, but you know, because they are not big stars, we pay very little attention to. So for him, he's a typical Ghanaian. You know, he knows his ins and outs of the country and all that. So,
As Johnny will
can
go
you
to
imagine?
London without announcement. He's a big star in Ghana. He's going to London.
So one funny thing that happened on Friday, you know,
Right.
the FNU Chris Hughton was coming over the weekend. They'll send him to Kumasi for the press conference and
Right.
unveiling, and then he'll come back. On Friday, they were at the funeral, and then the man was there.
on camera.
Yeah,
I'm here.
and you know, it's sending signals that this man is going to be a man on his own.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be very difficult for them to tame him.
I am here.
Especially with all the experience he's had from the Premier League. You know, in the Premier League, you are not just a coach, you're a manager.
Right.
You're expected to manage the players and manage the affairs of the team as well, from the youth teams to the senior side. So it's more like a tougher duty than what you are being given as a coach. A coach, you just go to the training grounds and then you give the routine. But this one, you must have a plan, a policy that is going to help the team perform. So when he sees some of these things, handling a team like Newcastle United, like Brighton in the Premier League and other clubs, I'm not sure this should be too much of a difficulty for him, especially dealing with our own people. He's going to be a man of his own, and I sensed it yesterday from the press conference too that.
Do you think he will be allowed the space to operate?
He's going to be allowed. For me, I think he's going to be allowed because of where he's coming from now. let's not forget, the government wanted him as the head coach of the team before the GFA insisted on Otoado taking charge of the World Cup qualifier against Nigeria and then subsequently to the main World Cup. He kept quiet, sat quietly as the technical advisor after being spoken to. On any day, with his experience and with his pedigree, he should have left. No coach would have stayed. But I think he has a plan that he wants to follow. So just when he waited for the government to give him that appointment or confirmation that, yes, after Otoado, you are the one going to take the team in every other qualifier or tournament that we play, he decided to stay, and he knows where his backing is coming from, and he knows his pedigree. He knows the kind of class he's been in, and I'm not sure he's going to subdue to any decisions, pressure, and then all other decisions that is going to affect his duty, especially as a coach of a Black Stars.
This is Ghana. This is not Europe.
Yeah, this is Ghana. And it surprised me that one thing that wouldn't surprise me,
the fingers around the team, there are plenty.
One thing that would surprise me if he succumbs to the pressure is what Milovan Rajevac did on his second coming. On his first coming, he was tough.
That's right.
He nearly sent Stephen Appiah out of the national team. So the FA had to beg, and they had to select between Lai Kensen, Stephen Appiah, and then Suleiman Muntai, who was going to stay with the team for the 2010 World Cup. Right. Because the youngsters were performing. There was Opoku Ajima, there was Samuel Inkum, there was Andre Ayew, there was Ajiman Bedu, there was Rabiu. So these senior players had to succumb at a point. So Randy Abbey and the like spoke to Milo, and then he asked them, out of these three players, one of them must drop out. Eventually, Lai Kensen had to be dropped because they couldn't drop the captain. And Sule was more active with Inter Milan at that time. So you just couldn't send Muntari also out of the national team. So Lai was the obvious choice that had to be out. But when Milo came for the 2021 African Nations Cup, which was played in last year, 2022, you could see clearly that everything was being decided for him. And just when he decided to do things on his own, we went to field at the AFCON, and then we came back because he had been out of job for 2 years, and it was more like this is my pension pay. So let me just do anything, take my money, and then go out.
Let me do what they want.
So I just hope Hughton, after 1 year, will not be treated like them, because I sense it even with George Boateng and the Didi Dramani. Some utterances they made after the World Cup doesn't give me a clear indication of their men. I think they are. Their integrity seems to have been altered a bit, and they've been compromising a bit, because you look at certain things that do happen in and around the Black Stars, and even on the pitch, that you expect them to make very bold decisions. It raises a lot of questions, but let's see. Hughton has taken over. We see his first game on Thursday. He's made it clear that he did not make many changes to the squad because this is the first time, and he has a very short period in assembling the team. Only 8 players were present yesterday in Accra to train for the shake-up. We have 17 more joining today. After the training session, they are moving to Kumasi. So he has just about 24 hours or at most 48 hours to prepare the team for that game on Thursday. So I think maybe after this, we'll see a whole lot of changes.
The average Ghanaian, or if you like, Ghana is a football country, so we're looking for the goals, we're looking for the tournaments, we're looking for the trophies. We're not looking for who was the best technical manager and that. Go near Fife. You know, do you think he has what it takes to bring us the goals and the trophies that we've missed for a long time?
Johnny, you look at this manager, his style of play, and then how he wants to win games, and I think he'll be good for tournament. And at tournament, you need to be pragmatic. You don't need, quality football to win. You don't need sweet football that will give you pump and pageantry. No, you need to be very, very organized. And with the way he sets up his team, very defensive, and they hit on the break, it's very difficult to break down his teams, and that is what you need at tournament. So when you have sharp attackers, very good forward, and Kudus has replicated that. He's made us see if Partey decides to play his A game, if Joseph Painsil is playing well and he's giving us the goals, if Osman Bukari is being used in games with the space and how young he is, I expect Ghana to be playing like we did back in 2010 when we were winning games 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, and we got to the finals, finals of the AFCON, where eventually we were beaten by Egypt, and then subsequently we got to the quarterfinals of the 2010 World Cup. I expect to see that kind of system, and he's very, very particular with his defensive shape. If he doesn't score, you are not scoring him. So that is what wins teams tournaments, and I think we've seen it in the last couple of years. In 2018, France were not the best side. Belgium played all the excellent football, but when France met them, all they did was, let's stifle them. We will not allow their main players, Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, to play, and then we'll take advantage. And thankfully, they got one goal, and then they got to the final. In the final, when they met Croatia, Croatia played all the excellent football. But France had the game changers in Kylian Mbappe, Antoine Griezmann, and Paul Pogba. They got the goals. Just this World Cup, going into the final, France played better than any other team. But when they met Argentina, Scaloni just deployed 2 men on France's main men, that is Antoine Griezmann and Tchouaméni, and then they prevented France from playing. Eventually, they got that magic work from Lionel Messi, and they won, maybe via penalties, but at least they managed to keep France at bay for a very lengthy period. In 2016, it happened with Portugal and France during the 2016 European Championship. France played so well, but in the final, Portugal without Ronaldo managed to get a single goal, and then they managed to win. So I think it's all about pragmatism, and when it comes to that, I trust him. Should he be able to select the right players for the national team, which I think he should do.
He wants to focus on local players and developing local talents. That, for me, is a tricky one, especially if you look at how we have allowed our cold system to rot away. We have paid attention to who knows who, and who has the best godfather, and whose father
Johnny,
is.
I think he's going to give.
And that's why I ask: will he have an easy job? Because he wants to focus on the local players. Well, he has said that he wants to watch a lot more of the Premier League. He's to identify local stars. He will not shut the door to them at every point. There, he will operate an open door policy. We've heard that before, but the reality on the ground, is he able to weave that in so that he gets the best of the local team?
It's going to be very difficult for him, trust me. And if he decides to stay here, it's easier monitoring players who are outside Ghana or in Europe from Ghana, because you have data, you have scouts, you have personal coaches who have data on the players, and you're able to even have their videos. You know, on match days, every player, there are some countries like Germany, every player has a camera on him. Every single player has a dedicated camera that moves around the entire game, and it assembles all the statistics around the player. So you wouldn't need to be present at the stadium to watch the player. Maybe one game would be enough for you. But on the local scene, ask how many games do we even televise? There are 2 games or 3 games out of the 9 Ghana Premier League matches every round that we watch. And you wouldn't have cameras that would be readily available. Let's say apart from Asante Kotoko, Hat to Folk, I think Karela, a few others who have the VO camera, a 360 degrees camera, that helps. It's even 270, it's not 360. That gives you a fair view of players and gives you statistics. Very little do we do here. And you're talking about the coach system. If we don't have a very good juvenile system, it's going to be difficult for him to even appreciate the talent that we have here, because some of our players lack the basics, and it's the reason why they go on trials and then they fail. But young players in the football academies just move to Europe and bang, they are instant hits. It's all because they have the right development from the grassroots level. But some of our players who just play, do I say, the Winchini football on our various pitches, just get to the high level. Yes, we would appreciate them on the local scene. But when they go to the international stage, it's very difficult. You may see a passionate person, let's say someone like Mubarak Wakasu will be playing, but if you put Wakasu, you put Partey, you appreciate Partey's value more because of the brilliance and intelligence, the technique he has. It's the same thing when you have Osman Bukari. Maybe you may say Daniel Efriye-Bani is playing well, but a coach outside will appreciate Joseph Pain so much more than Efriye-Bani, all because of the technique, the in-game movement of the ball movement and positioning and all that. That counts to play. But I think recently, after the Kotoko Hearts game, I spoke to FIFA's development and high performance coach for Africa, that is Abdul Faisal Chipsa, and he made mention of the difficulty in even upgrading the talents that we have, or because of poor coaching education, which he has called out on the GFA to invest a lot more. It's not all about enrolling the program. It's about getting the right coaches who are interested in that, have the right mentality, and want to dedicate their time to developing youngsters. And in doing that, even some of them don't have the money to pay. For those who are dedicated in doing that, they don't have the money to pay for these coaching courses. So what do? You pay for them, you get them into national academies, you get them in very good pitches, and you start developing players.
Is that what Senegal is doing? Because they have been absolutely killing it. Is that what we need? A Senegalese coach, maybe, especially their youth academies?
Yes, academies are springing up in Senegal, left to right, center, and the government has invested in grassroots football.
Do we have a model here?
We have a model, but it's just written. It hasn't been implemented. Because you even go to Pram, and I'm telling you, you cannot have 4 different pitches where you can have players to play. It's difficult. That should be the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence, which was started by Ben Kofi, though it's FIFA's money being invested. But I think it's high time we develop that. If you have that, and let's say if you have a national academy, you'll be able to develop players for the international.
So in Senegal, the government is actually really backing this and putting money behind it.
It's everywhere. That is why King Mohammed the Sixth was given the award recently, CAF Achievement Award, because he's invested a lot of money. And it's not just Morocco who are benefiting from it. Other parts of Africa, Ghana are beneficiaries. Recently, we had our coaches going there, we had our players, we had friendly games with them for our youth teams and then the women national teams. They are investing in football. You go to Egypt, and then across a large scale, you have several pitches. It's a continuous stead. Like a plantation here, we use it for yam or cocoyam or let's say
I've been before pleasure.
Yeah. So we just don't value it, and that is where most of the talents come. You look at some of our talents, Sami Kofo and the likes. They were trained from the under 12, got to the under 15, got to the under 17, under 20, and eventually they slot into the Black Stars.
Do we really not value it, or is it because? I mean, I'm asking this because we used to go and queue to watch Hearts of Folk trained by the art center in Accra, Hearts Park. It was a dusty place, and we used to, if you don't go early, you won't have even the training of Accra Hearts of Folk to watch. We used to go to Indafa Park and all those places to go and watch these Munchedi, Harrison babies and Has babies and all of those ones. We used to go and watch them.
Johnny,
that euphoria and that excitement that used to characterize these Wanchendi matches and Ajanacha, as we call it, it's no longer there.
It's no longer there because we are not giving the fans or the spectators.
No, you see, it's no longer there because then you and I did not have any choice. When it came to football, you either had to go to the training pitch to see football or go to the stadium.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to football and the interest in football, I can sit in my room, watch DSTV, see football on my phone, and so on and so
forth. But you don't have the Ghana Premier League. You don't have the domestic product. We are talking about the domestic.
But you see, William, we are talking about the interest in football everywhere.
But you see, William,
but the domestic interest.
William,
where is it?
I'm a Manchester United fan.
The domestic
Manchester United still gets a full stadium. They still get people to go and watch their training sessions.
I'm talking about what he said. The domestic interest, he has shifted it to Manchester United.
No, I'm saying that you're saying that
because
William, you are saying that back then you didn't have a choice.
Yes, we had
because you had no options.
Yes,
I'm saying that now the options are there. But even the people we're trying to learn from, they still have a full stadium.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
even on training days. Now, so in our case, where is it?
More attractive besides what they are giving us.
What? Yeah.
So that's the point I'm making. Now you can go and watch Italian football, Bundesliga, La Liga. You go to English Premier League, and then you have your GPL.
Yeah.
So you have options, but you will not go and watch the Premier League because we have failed to develop it.
You know, those times.
I made a joke the other time that the crowd we had at Gobe Festival, 3FM Gobe Festival,
it's bigger than
it's more than what we had when we had the Presidential Cup recently.
Look,
it's 3 times bigger.
If they are showing us some of the pitches in the Premier League, look at the pitches, the old, but they've developed.
Yeah.
Even the crowd, they were not as big as we have.
Yeah. Now we have bigger stadiums.
The Barcelona Real Madrid game.
Yeah.
look at the seat the players were sitting on.
Yeah.
Chief, look at our stadium. So we haven't done it intentionally. We haven't developed.
I think even if when we have the basics right, you don't even need the most comfortable seats in the world. So, there are times you see those seats, you go to the opponent's dressing room and they won't have the same seats as the home team. Yeah. It's called the disadvantage, genuine disadvantage to the opponent, because I won't give you comfortable seats for you to come and sit on and then score me. I'll give you flat benches where you sit on, and then you won't have your back to rest, so you sit like this. By the time you finish your warm-up, you get to the pitch. I have an advantage over you. It happens everywhere. But I think one thing that has gotten our game to this level, Johnny was speaking about these pitches where we used to go and watch. Our politicians and our businessmen are taking them over for shops and other buildings. We don't have the pitches for the young child who comes back from school to pick the ball. I am going to this park to go and play. Yeah. I remember some time back, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had to fight a whole community to keep a pitch where they got the likes of Upukunti and the rest from, because they wanted to put up building shops. We had to defend the reason why.
But you see, Kelvin, it also comes back to I am a member of the Anglican Church. If you come to Bubuashi, where my church is, there's a big park called the Bishop Park.
Sure.
This was Arorax and Zaytuna and young new professionals. I mean, they all used to come and play there.
Yeah.
Seahawks and all those teams.
Sure.
That property belonged to the church. So today the church decides that I don't want you playing football again on my field. I want to start a business on it. You can't fault the church.
You may not fault the church, but every church values recreation.
You go to Mataheko, all right? You go to Mataheko, Holy Family Catholic Church, big field, as they had, JT Park, big field. I'm just trying to mirror the fact that all these are private properties. The state itself has not dedicated within this whole space, this Kanda area. The next available park you find is somebody's private thing. Either it's for a church or for a business or somebody who bought the land, who for a long time has not developed it. It became a playing field, and that's it. And we have normalized it. The state has not even moved in to have a conversation with the people that, now we have seen that this is what it is, and let's use it.
The implementation of proper settlement planning in this country is on a low. And there are times I cry and I weep because I did settlement planning back in school.
Right.
Because chiefs and politicians, the rich in the society, have the dominant force in claiming lands. That should be for the vulnerable, or the less privileged to be on. Now, several astroturfs are being built around
Wembley, Robert Coleman's Wembley.
Yes, they give it back to either the district or municipal assembly, and they want to charge the kid before the kid can play. On Friday, the guys here at TV3 will be playing with our brothers at Multimedia.
Wow.
We would have to go and pay 600 Ghana cedis to play on the pitch. How many kids will be able to afford that?
But the question I want
so you see, some of these things, if the government prioritizes developing pitches and recreational centers. Now look at the multi-purpose recreational centers they say they were building. It's been taken over by weeds. Some are collapsing.
I tell you what, and the National Youth Authority that's supervising the construction of those things. Pius Ajite, Akosia Menu and the team. Before them, Sly, it was MP for Botiano Ngisha Manfro, who is on TV3 presently. They said they were going to build those facilities. As a boy, Kanishi Sports Complex was a place to go to swim, to do handball, to do basketball, volleyball, football, athletics of all sorts, 100 meter, 200, 400 meter sprints. Kanishi Sports Complex. Today, the National Youth Authority is there. And the pitch on which we used to play our own version of Interco for basic schools, right, is no longer existent. We have been trying to rebuild it for God knows how long. I go there, I see the pool. It's empty.
Isn't that what they call Azuma?
Yes, Azuma Nelson. And in fact, at some point, Azuma said they should take his name because it was a disgrace.
Exactly.
To him. I mean, look at how long we put Azuma's name on it. We still don't even have a working pitch. Go to the gym at that same place. It's a sorry sight.
Yeah.
Kelvin, advise us, tell us, if you go to the UK, for instance, come to London, how many of the stadia belong to the state? Apart from maybe Wembley, is it not?
Yes, Wembley is for them. Yes.
Apart from that, do you have any
Wembley
stadium for the state?
Well, no.
That's the
They were
point.
virtually using private or
So
community
if
community
How old
pitches.
is Asante Kotoko? Almost 90 years.
Yeah, right.
Accra has over 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 111.
With all the gold
Has started building a stadium, by the
You
way.
see, so what happened?
Money
With all the gold in
palava.
Kumasi,
Money palava.
They couldn't develop Asante Kotoko in terms of infrastructure.
And I
so if you go to England and we have teams which were established in the 1800s, are still as powerful as Arsenal, Crystal Palace, your team, Tottenham, and then we are here talking about government.
The communities built the team.
See, when we talk about
invested in infrastructure, and they helped the team to settle. The reason why those days, when you mention Okoye United, come on, this is my community team. When you mention Bofo Kwatano, these people are coming, and then our industries. Who were existing at that point? Look at Gapoa. Now, our industries, how many industries do we have working in Ghana?
And looking for football teams.
Exactly. So it's broad.
Look, as a boy, and I'll give a lot of credit to Robert Coleman and Wembley. What they've done. I mean, the AstroTurfs you find around the country, Robert Coleman and his team at Wembley, fantastic. As a boy, I remember Cable and Wireless at Bubuash. There was a whole park. They had about 6 or 8 parks within the space of
like that.
the telecom. No, but the telecom guys have moved in now. That's what I'm saying. It's their property. So you had a whole park dedicated to Okwawu United. We used to call it Okwawu Park. There's this park. There's that park. There's that park. So if you come to the larger space and you just want to enjoy Okwawu United training, you move straight to that particular park and you go and enjoy the football there.
In Dafa Park.
In Dafa Park. And in Dafa Park today is a church, right?
Johnny, that was why I'm saying that. That is why I'm saying that implementation.
The Indafa Park today, we have put a church on the Indafa Park.
Implementation of our policies is a problem.
Where Shamoku and the rest were developed.
Johnny, if you go to the town and country planning or you go to the National Development Planning Commission,
land and special usage.
Yes, special planning unit. You go and then you have plants there. You can see the recreational centers, but ask yourself, where are they?
The question I asked,
they are not being.
I'm saying to you that the London or the UK that we from Friday to Monday we watch football there. How many of the stadia belong to the city?
It's just the London. It's just the London Stadium and Wembley.
The government is helping you to be able to think and make money. Here, what's wrong? You don't even have a chance to even.
No, that's the point I'm making. So is it all the teams that we're talking about don't belong to the state?
Yes.
All the teams
but because of what the state does, it enables the businessmen to thrive. So it still goes back to state.
You get it? So
yes, but that notwithstanding, for instance, I use Kotoko.
That is true.
Kotoko go.
That is true.
They could have done
Look,
something.
I tell you what.
The Western region teams. Look at the resources there.
I know. For example.
So Johnny, recently,
I know. For example, there are members of parliament and district assemblies that will engage Robert Coleman to say, "Oh, we want an AstroTurf here." Okay, for it to be built. Of course, for political reasons, they want to go and show the people that But in terms of even managing the people to manage the facility, go to the AstroTurf that was put up. Okay, I think by Neil Van der Poel, Koda, and the rest, they put their heads together and they put that at Bukom. Go and check how the pitch is.
Maintenance culture is also.
They cook on the pitch. They do Ujemo there. They do Yala there. They pound fufu there. Look, they wash and hang the clothes on the AstroTurf.
Build a football pitch. What stops you from even digging a couple of boreholes around so that you can get water to water the pitch to make it green?
Well, Johnny. So creativity has a lot of business, and I think the technical unit or directorate of our of the Ghana Football Association needs to do more. Even if we have Pram, if we have the Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence, giving us about 20 kits a year, we can be able to develop players and at least get 5 or 7 or 10 out of them.
I agree with
for the
you,
international
but
market.
for me,
you go to France and
Pram is just one leg of the thing.
Yes,
there are children. See, having traveled around the country, sometimes you go, and I was telling Philip and Cyril the other time we were going for Francis Bochi's funeral at Amfoega. I told him that when I get into a village or a town, what freaks me out is, they have their parks, their own football parks. It's green. What freaks me out are those parks. Because if I stay in the town for a day or two, I'll get a football match to watch.
Exactly.
And it's always a delight the way they come onto, the page, seeing their own jama and doing their own things. So there are talents that are bound across the country. We often tend to focus on Accra, Kumasi, Takrady, and we leave it there. But if you focus on the talent that there, where did the Mohamed Gagos and the Salis, where did they come from?
To play the Black Stars.
Yes.
Look, when this country, when Abedi he had bandages on his body. They will fly him, will come and put
Vigibomb. Before and after, I use Vigibomb
for a while play. Look, what are we saying? These local boys, what they are going to, we are not preparing them for the Black Stars.
And we are even making them hungry.
All the pitches that we built for 2028 AFCON.
2008.
What has happened to them?
Go to Sipon is terrible.
The Cape Coast.
Now we only have Babara Stadium as our only sanctioned facility for international games, and even that one is conditional approval from CAF.
So we are not serious.
We have the 2024 Africa Games, or it should have been this year. Now we've moved it to next year. And ask yourself, are our facilities ready? Boteman, Legon, they are not ready. So, Johnny, it's a big problem. But I think if they begin from that, you go to France, and the Clairefontaine is the national academy. France have developed it to the extent that when the national team group, they don't need to go to any 5-star or whatever hotel. They stay at the Clairefontaine because that is the bedrock of the French national team they have now.
But you see, the French also have a system that you're playing under 12.
Yes,
and then you mature into
and
under
remember,
14.
I spoke about how we got our players. Sami Kofo, John Mensah, Steven Appiah, the likes. They move from these bases.
But in our case these days, people, it is truncated. Somebody's father knows somebody.
That is the problem. When you're able to have this national academy running and you combine with some of the private academies like Right to Dream, who have given us Kamaldeen and Nesnyama, who is coming to play for the under-23s, Kudus Mohammed, who is the star of the senior national team now. You have others like Joseph Pinsel and others who came from the youth ranks of Tema Youth, Thomas Partey from the youth ranks of Tema Youth and the likes. You would appreciate that at least we would have 5 players every year who can go outside. If Wafa is able to export 5 players,
they'll go outside and reach the foreign,
and they come and complain here.
Then our league will be baller. Player wants to shine.
The point is,
William.
The point is, if you're having quality, players,
Kelvin, you will not
for them to stay here.
Exactly. That is why I'm saying if you have these facilities and then it attracts the fans now.
Kelvin, you would not
will have the numbers.
No, you see, you will not attract quality. If up until now you are paying your local league players 300 cedis, 350, 400 in this economy,
it's all because you are not
even feeding them well for them to develop.
It's all because you don't have. So
when the scouts come, scouts come. Me, I have not eaten for the whole day. All I've done is to focus on depend on Auntie Dane's wise Otishinu. And I buy some 2 cedis bread to top it up. I get some of my sugar. Then I have to come onto the pitch. There's a scout from South Africa or wherever who is sitting and watching the match, expecting me to shine. But me, I'm hungry.
It is out of that same hunger.
I cannot
It is out of that same hunger we had Kojo Asamoah. It is out of that same hunger.
Why did he end up? He ended up in Italy.
Yes, he went away because as soon as he shines a little, he wants exit plan.
No, it means regardless the difficulty, how Sadio Mane, Yusuf Sabali, Idrissa Gana Gueye and the likes managed to move from Senegal outside.
And where did they end up?
They ended up in France.
That was raw talent too. That was gave them. They left.
Yes. So the raw talent
is not creating. In fact, in West Africa, especially.
So that is why I'm saying.
Senegal is killing the game.
But Helen,
that is what I'm saying.
They have kept you hungry,
Johnny.
Then you have an opening to go and proper. You go.
Very good.
What are you talking to me about?
And that is why I'm saying if you produce them at a very early stage and they are giving you that quality to move to Europe at that end, when they go to Europe, They will come back with that quality and win you laurels and improve your league.
They're talking about they'll come and improve the league. How?
Yes,
How
they will improve it because they are going to give better facilities. That is going to produce the very best talent.
The better facilities, the players.
Yes.
But are we seeing that in Ghana?
Yes, we are. Go to Cheetah FC.
Kelvin,
No. You know, there are times, especially
they are doing well.
you know, especially with youth football, you don't need the 120 by 100 pitch that you need for international games.
Cheetah is doing youth football. I'm talking about the senior football.
And we are saying that the bedrock of every senior football team is the basics. If you don't have the fundamentals right,
and the basis are being kept,
it would always be wrong. Yes, it's always happened. But if we try to do the basics right, it is going to get better, and we are going to have the very best.
They play
players
football without
level.
boots, so they play football.
No, now the GFA is giving boots out.
Please. Kelvin, thank you very much indeed. Our problem is big past the one way we know. Oh my God. Now imagine settling down behind this steaming bowl of delicious Indomie, cooked just the way you like it. The great thing is that now you can do it with an exciting new flavor. Beef it up with new Indomie beef. Indomie beef is the most and the newest addition to the great tasting Indomie you know and love. That means you can enjoy a delightful meal with the appetizing aroma of beef to fill your belly and leave you smiling. So if you want a quick meal with a pleasing flavor, do your taste buds a favor with new Indomie beef flavor. In just a few minutes,